Grand Prix by Pontiac. I came to the car auction today, but I got here late. Never know what's going to turn up at the car auction. A few months ago, there was a Lincoln Mark V, a 78 or 79 last year. This thing turned up here today. Typical GM door handle. And look at that. They downsized the bushing, put a steel sleeve with rubber underneath, and oh, do you have to slam that thing? Interesting car. It's got factory tachometer, which is so rare with a 305 4-barrel Chevy. It's got power windows, remote mirror, tilt, cruise, got the fancy equalizer, AM/FM stereo cassette, but no air conditioning, rear defog, gauges, and the tachometer. Check this out. It's got bucket seats, same ones you'd probably find in the Grand National. This is an 85. They made these till 86 or 7. But check this out. Gray, green. Gray, green. This one just looks kind of grayish, but yikes. Some of these, if you would have ordered the SJ, the Sport John DeLorean, chief of Pontiac, you would have had a slap shifter in an SJ, not in the LJ. It even has an insignia on the door pull. Interesting car. Yeah. It's the LE Luxury Edition, not the LJ. I guess John DeLorean was out of the picture. It's got the correct center caps, Rally 2 wheels. The Rally 1s were like the Chevy Rally wheels, but they had fluted kidney slots. It's got BF Goodrich 14-inch tires. I'm surprised this hasn't got 15s. Pontiac. Never liked it when they did the facelift in 1981. They made the nose longer. They made the cars so much smaller in 78 for the midsize, 79 for the Riviera, body, Tornado, Eldorado, and 77 for the full size. I never liked this facelift when they elongated the nose to try and bring it back into a bigger car. 305 4-barrel. It doesn't have a cold air intake tube. In 85. GM always had a prettier air cleaner than Ford, and they put the flute on it to improve airflow. This was somebody's baby. At the car auction, it's got 75,000 miles. Original hose clamp here. And it could have had the worm drive clamps. GM used to put worm drive clamps on. Even the brake booster's not rusty. Someone sprayed grease on the frame to preserve it, but they didn't drive it much in the winter. Who knows what the history is of this car. I hate those. I just undo the battery cable. I don't like those toys, those little brass things. No air conditioning, and here are the original clamps. GM used the worm drive clamp. Small base antenna, and it just barely fits. It's a pretty original car. It doesn't have the heavy-duty alternator, but it doesn't have air conditioning either. Pretty nice car. Just a couple little specks of rust. The frame on these used to rust in the back after 2 or 3 years. I had a 78 Malibu. This one's not rusted, but there's a bit of rust here where the body comes together. The inner fender well, outer fender well. A little bit of rust on the wheels. Those are hard to paint. Some tiny BF Goodrich radial TAs. And T-tops. Interesting. You never know what's going to show up at the auction. Oh, and my favorite ugly exhaust tips. I hate those things. The pipes have to hang down below the frame because the frame tucks right up against the quarter panel. And what GM used to do is, he used to exit right here. Zip. The Novas of the mid-70s would exit this way, come straight down and exit completely 90 degrees to the car. This from the factory. See the frame? How close it hugs the quarter panel, or drop down, some people call them. So they used to exit right there, just like that. And if you ordered dual exhaust, they angle it a bit more closer to perpendicular. And if you ordered the SJ, you got double transverse muffler outlet, 1 inlet, 2 outlets, with a chrome, not a chrome tip, it was an oval tip. They dolled it up a little bit. Interesting car. I didn't buy it. No air conditioning. If you don't like silver, you like charcoal. If you don't like charcoal, like silver, you got your choice. Never know what you're going to find at the auction, but you got to beware. Some of these cars are bottom of the barrel, and some of them are deals. You never know when you're going to find a deal. or a great old American almost muscle car with a 305. Well, you got potential. Wonder what transmission it has. Turbo 200 or a turbo 350? It's got a 3-speed. It had a 204R on anything but the Chevy, and the Chevy's got a 700 turbo 350. Yep. What else could it be? If it's a 3-speed, wouldn't be a turbo 400, that's for sure. Never know what you're gonna find at the auction. Could be a beauty with a flat tire. Frog something tires. This has got frog tires. I like coming to the auction. It's always exciting at the car auction. And it's over. And somebody's gonna drive home a Grand Prix by Pontiac, out of business 2 years, 3 years later.